Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at the $300,000 Caribbean Classic on Saturday at Gulfstream Park. Let's take a look at this field. Some of the best horses from Latin and South America represented. They're going 1 1/8 miles on the dirt. This closes out the Gulfstream Saturday card as race number 11. The story of this race, Mike, is your odds-on favorite. Arad Ortiz picks up the mount on the Mexican representative, the number 3, Kukulkan. He's only 13 for 13 in his career.
Yeah, just been crushing fields down in Mexico, so we'll see if he can bring that form up here. You know, I guess the real question with all these horses is, you know, how does that form in Mexico translate to get a different group of horses? If it does translate, I guess he's just going to win. They made him a very short price on the morning line. He has been visually impressive. Does not hurt that he picks up Irad.
Let's talk about the rest of the field in post-position order, beginning with the number 1, My Racing Mate, representing Venezuela. This horse will receive Lasix for the first time, and I just didn't think the trip really worked out for him last time out. It was a 3-horse field. Tap Daddy, the winner of that race, just went to the lead. My Racing Mate was in chase mode. He had to work hard to get within striking distance, and then that horse ran away from him. There is more speed for him to attack in this spot, and he draws a really nice inside post.
He got a great post. Maybe the race will set up differently for him here. It's just one of those things, you know, he's one of 3 shipping in here from Venezuela. The other 2, Pistos and Bukowski, they've sort of had his number so far, but he hasn't really been competitive with those 2 horses, so he's just got to find a way to close a pretty big gap.
From Panama comes the number 2, Dario Ruth, and this horse dropped a tough decision last time out in a Group 2 to Sol de Orion, who we will face once again on Saturday. It looked like he had all the momentum rallying on the outside, and he poked ahead in front in the stretch, but he let Sol de Orion come back and beat him. Maybe in a race with a lot of pace, this horse will come with a big run.
Yeah, maybe he will. It looks like he hung last time in that race. That was the real problem I had with it. But Sol de Orion did get in front of him in there, and he was the one who had to try and close. Maybe that worked against him, Dan. I didn't really like that he didn't win that last race, though.
The number 4, El Salcero, represents Puerto Rico, and this horse was just able to get to the easiest of leads last time out in 1 1/8 miles race. It was a short field. He opened up on that field early, took a little bit of pressure turning into the stretch, and then he shrugged off the rival to win by 6. He was odds on that day. He was supposed to win. Something tells me this is a big hike in class.
I agree with that. It also, he just feels like one of those horses. I know he's won a couple of times going longer, but I think distance really works against this horse. He looks like a horse who was better sprinting.
The aforementioned Sol de Orion is the number 5, and this horse set the pace in that Group 2 stakes race most recently. I thought he had to work a lot during that second quarter mile. They went 26 for the first quarter. They really ratcheted up the pressure on Sol de Orion. Second quarter in 24 and change. He put away that pace presser, then had to deal with Dario Ruth when that one came calling, turning into the stretch. He was extremely game to fight back and win that race, and he's got a couple of workouts at Gulfstream. I think he's improving at the right time.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's one of the horses, because when you go back early in his career, you know, in against Dario Ruth, Senor Ben-Hur, horses who sort of had his number early, but he sort of turned the tables on them in his last 2 starts, almost just looking like a horse who's really starting to improve right now.
He's the late blooming Panamanian. The number 6, Senor Ben-Hur, might have been among the best of his generation earlier this season, winning a Group 2 back on August the 12th. He was 3-5 in that Sol de Orion race most recently, and he was up close to the pace, and the jock made a decision on the backstretch that I wonder if he regretted, and that was taking him off the pace and letting dirt get kicked back into Senor Ben-Hur's face. It was interesting to note that many of the jockeys took their horses wide into the stretch. Senor Ben-Hur was closest to the rail, and he didn't fire. I wonder if he's a little bit dirtied up at a big price.
Yeah, he could be. We'll see what happens. He certainly has the credentials from earlier on to run a better race in this spot, and you know, you might get a better price on him this time than you were able to get on him last time.
Gotta wonder if Kandinsky was just born in the wrong year. Kukulkan has had his number time after time after time after time after time. That's 5 times in Mexico throughout his career. 8 times second. Kandinsky, I think, is going to try for 1 run late.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with him. He has a lot of work to do to catch up to the big favorite in this race. We'll see if he can do it.
Pistos from Venezuela adds Lasix off 2 victories, and I liked what he did last time out. He sat from off the pace. He altered course up the inside, turning into the stretch, and he gamed that out at 1 3/16, and I think he'll be comfortable enough at 1 1/8 miles.
Yeah, I do too. I think the shorter distances, you know, I would say, let's call them middle distance, probably a little better for him. His last 2 races are both good.
Literario from Mexico, no match for Kukulkan. In his last 2 races, beaten a combined 23.5 lengths. I'm not sure I was going to make up that margin in, what, a month and a half?
Yeah, the other 2 Mexican horses in here feel like they just have their hands full with the big favorite. favorite.
Let's throw up our top selections in this race. I mentioned the reasons why I like the number 5, Sol de Orion. I like the gameness and the heart he showed last time out. I think he has some tactical speed. And with Kukulkan in this race, he's going to be a square price. Your horse, the number 10, Bukowski from Venezuela, 6-1 on the morning line. He was good last time out, I thought, going 1.25 miles. I wonder if this distance is a little long, although he has done good work at a flat mile.
Yeah, he has. A big early move last time to take that race over. I really liked that performance from him. The race 2 starts back. Pistos, who had beaten him 3 starts ago and got in front of him, in that race 2 back, they went after him early with Bukowski. Pistos made the lead. Bukowski went right after him and didn't let him get away, and really won that race pretty easily. This horse is in good form right now. I think the shorter distance could actually work for him, 1 1/8 miles. He does not have a good post. He's got to try and get a trip from post 10, which isn't easy. But in just watching some of his races from Venezuela, he has really good tactical speed.
So we'll see if Kukulkan can make it 14 for 14. We expect him to start odds on in the Caribbean Classic. We'll take some stabs against Mike with the 10, Bukowski, me with the 5, Sol de Orion. It's a fun race. It's the anchor of a nice card at Gulfstream on Saturday. Best of luck.